I'm a 52-year-old man who has spent nearly 30 years working as an accountant for a small company. Like many fathers, I poured everything in to provide for my family, pulling long hours, juggling side gigs and grabbing every chance, earn extra through overtime. Did it. Also, my daughters, Rachel, now 27, and Jessica, 24, could have everything they needed. I pushed myself to the limit, trying to give them what I believed was good life. Private tutors, brand new cars for their 16th birthdays, international study programs, and full tuition at top-tier universities. Survived on instant noodles for weeks, just so Rachel could study our history. In Florence, their mother, Deborah, walked away when Jessica was just 3 years old. She said she felt suffocated. Her freedom came swiftly wrapped around her tennis coach, Marco. After the divorce, I was granted full custody. Those years raising the girls on my own were the most meaningful of my life. Everything began to shift last March. Deborah got engaged to a wealthy investment guy named Bradley Harrison. The girls were ecstatic. Suddenly they were spending weekends at his upscale home and coming back with designer handbags, talking about yachts and luxury vacation homes. I didn't love the sudden change, but as long as they were happy, I kept my feelings to myself. Then October arrived. I spent 2 full days preparing their favorite Sunday meal, everything made from scratch. Even pulled out the fine china that once belonged to my mother. They arrived late, stepping out of Bradley's Mercedes, both wearing identical Cartier bracelets. Rachel didn't even bother removing her coat before announcing, "Dad, we need to talk." Jessica quickly followed up. They'd be spending Christmas with their mom and Bradley in the French Alps. He'd rented a chalet. That stung. But I offered to celebrate the holiday early, trying to stay. Then came the real blow. "We need to rethink our family dynamic," Rachel said, her tone emotionless. Jessica added that Bradley wanted to adopt them. Adoption. It would help with his estate planning, she explained. I stared at them, trying to process what I was hearing. Then Jessica said it. "We're not our biological father. Mom told us she had an affair with Marco before the divorce." The room seemed to tilt. Remembered the DNA results from the custody case years ago, but they said Deborah now claims I forged them. Rachel brushed past it all. "It doesn't matter. We're moving on from this." She waved dismissively at my modest home like it was beneath her. Then they left. No hugs, no bites of food, not even goodbye. I stood alone, surrounded by untouched dishes and silence that felt heavier than I'd experienced in years. 3 days later, I went to the bank and retrieved the DNA results from my safe deposit box. They confirmed what I already knew. It was 99.9% biologically related to both girls. I reached out to my longtime friend Sarah, who practices family law. Together, we sent a cease and desist letter demanding they stop spreading false information. Their reply, delivered through Bradley's attorney, was unapologetic. They stood by the claim and expected me to comply with the adoption process. Jessica even posted on Instagram celebrating cutting out toxic people and honoring chosen family, paired with a smiling photo of her and Bradley at a formal gala. Some followers praise her strength. Others accuse her of being cruel. Then Bradley began texting me. He wanted me to sign the adoption paperwork. "You've had your time," one message read. "Let a real man step in. I can offer them what you never could." Bradley shot back in a text. Responded, "Provide proof of your claim, or leave me alone," he retorted. "Don't embarrass yourself." Real men know when to step aside. Then Deborah called. Push me to give in. Why are you making this so difficult? She asked, her voice dripping with frustration. Bradley has connections. He can open doors for them. Why can't you just let go? Told her. They were my daughters. She scoffed, accusing me of being stubborn, and warned, don't make us take this to court. We'll prove our point. A conversation ignited something inside me. I knew something was off. I started digging into Bradley's life. A week later I found gold. Turned out that Bradley wasn't the financial as he claimed to be. Word spread through my network accountants. He was under investigation by the SEC for securities fraud. His mansion was leased and the boat he paraded around borrowed from a client who was now suing him. Those grand opportunities he had boasted about. All smoke and mirrors. But it got even worse. I uncover why Bradley was so eager to adopt my daughters. He had been selling himself as a devoted family man to conservative investors. Successful adult daughters were a key part of that image. I was never the problem. I was just inconvenient. Raised those girls. I'd sacrificed everything for them. And now they were discarding me for a lie wrapped in a glossy, luxurious lifestyle. But this was far from over. Jessica worked at a marketing firm, and Rachel's role in our curation gave the impression that their lives were stable. But the adoption wasn't about securing their future. Was about keeping up appearances. Might sound petty, but instead, confronting them directly, I made moves that would leave a lasting impression. Cancelled their phone plans, which were still under my name. I removed them as authorized users on my credit cards. Changed the Netflix password. Yes, it was petty, but I also sent them a bill for their car expenses and college tuition, both of which were under my name. Total $372,000. The response came quickly. Rachel stormed into my office, furious, demanding an explanation for why her phone was cut off during work hours. Sorry, do I know you? Yes. Dad, this isn't funny. She snapped. According to you, I'm not your dad. Reminded her. Later that evening, Jessica came by, tears already in her. Daddy, please. We didn't mean it. She pleaded. Sarah sent formal letters, demanding repayment for the car payments, and set a strict deadline for transferring the vehicle titles. Deal was clear. They either acknowledged me as her father or they would pay up. Then Bradley's lawyer hit me with a threatening letter accusing me of extortion and emotional manipulation. They claimed I was ruining his business by spreading rumors about his financial issues. Sarah just laughed it off. Said the discovery process was going to be a show. Social media turned into a war zone. Team dad versus team daughters. Their friends came at me, while mine defended me. Got brutal. But I kept my silence, watching the chaos unfold. A month later, Bradley was arrested. Federal agents raided his office in the mansion he'd been renting. Deborah was caught attempting to flee with suitcases full of cash. She was deeper into the scam than anyone realized. My daughters finally saw the truth. They had backed the wrong person. They showed up at my door looking shell gone with the designer clothes. They were now in jeans and sweatshirts. Dad, Rachel began, we made a mistake. Avril corrected her. Bradley was their mother was likely heading to prison. We need help, Jessica said. What kind of help? I asked. The FBI froze our accounts. They think we're involved because we attended investor meetings with Bradley. Were you involved? Yes. They exchanged glances. We might have helped transfer some money, Rachel whispered. Bradley said it was for tax purposes. Decide. Get a lawyer. A real one. We can't afford one, Jessica said. Our credit cards are maxed. Our accounts are frozen. Sounds like a personal problem. I replied. They left, tears streaming down their faces. I felt nothing but exhaustion. 3 months later, things finally started to calm down. Bradley got 12 years in federal prison and Deborah received 3 years for conspiracy. She flipped on him immediately, handing over everything she knew. My daughters were not charged, as the prosecutor ruled that they were willfully ignorant, but not criminally complicit. Their reputations were in tatters. Rachel lost her position as a curator, and Jessica was let go from her firm. The scandal was just too much. They ended up living together in a small apartment, working retail to make ends meet. They had managed to pay back about $15,000 of what they owed me for the cars, but I wasn't holding my breath at the rest. Then I received a letter from Rachel. Dad, I don't expect forgiveness. She wrote. We chose greed over love, lies over family. Every sacrifice you made, every hour you worked, every time you put us first, we threw it all away. For fancy bags and expensive parties. See it now. All of it. And I'm so sorry. Your daughter, if you'll still have me. I haven't responded. I'm not sure if I will. Jessica's letter was much shorter. I'm sorry for everything. You deserve better. My sister thinks you should forgive us. Are they really your daughters? My sister had asked. They certainly didn't seem to think so. For me, when Bradley's money was flowing, I was doing fine. Took my first vacation in years and even started dating again. Sarah's sister. Actually, he's great. No drama. Works hard as a librarian. I also got a promotion to senior accountant. Turns out when you're not constantly stressed about your kids, you perform better. Do I miss them? Every damn day. But I miss who I thought they were, not the people they've shown themselves to be. Will I ever forgive them? Maybe. But trust isn't something you just give. Something you earn. They have a long road ahead. The hardest lesson: love shouldn't be conditional. But respect that absolutely is. Thanks for following my story. It's helped to share it. Now if you'll excuse me, I've got a life to live. To answer a few common questions. Yes, the DNA tests are real and come from the original custody. No, I'm not funding their legal troubles. Yes, they're both trying to rebuild their careers. No, I don't regret cutting them off. Yes, I've kept all the receipts.